managing is the biggest headache that everybody says, oh, I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to receive those calls. Well, if you do it right, you won't be receiving those calls. Because what we do is when we buy our properties, we make sure, like I said, we learn the business of management, which is the heartbeat. We make sure that all our units, all of our properties, our toilets are new, and faucets and ACs are all working properly. If you worry about those three things and you make sure that those are taken care of, you're not going to be receiving those nuisance calls every 5 minutes. So just make sure that you're not a slumlord, and management will be great. You won't have, it's not as bad as everybody says. And like I said, I think that it's a huge part of the business. In order to have a successful multifamily portfolio, you need to understand the heartbeat of the business, which is management. So management. Having A+ service is going to keep you apart from everybody else. If you ever notice, I don't know if anybody lives in an apartment building or if anybody lives even in a high-rise A+ apartment building, but customer service, when you walk into where you live, you want to be treated correctly. You want them to be nice to you. You want them to have attention because you're paying them to live there, and that's your home. You want to feel good. You want to make sure that everybody that works in that property, your maintenance guys, your property manager, your leasing agent, whoever it is, that you're being treated properly, because that way you feel good about paying that rent, and you're not going to want to leave that property because you're going to say, you know what, going to the next property, they're not going to have this customer service where they attend to me so nice. They're, your management of a collection, that's a great deal for you, for your income. If you don't manage your collections properly, you're going to fail. So you got to make sure that you don't become best friends. The owner doesn't become best friends with your tenants, because you can't keep with the story of, oh my God, my grandmother, had to go to the hospital and I have to pay their medical bills and I can't pay the rent this month because of my grandmother. Or, my daughter needed a puppy and I had to buy the puppy for my daughter because she was going to cry. You can't fall into those stories because you're in this business to make money. And I don't want to be insensitive or mean or anything, but because I'm saying you have to have A+ customer service, but at the same time, you have to understand this is a business for you. When they don't pay rent, you got to make sure that you're collecting that money, because that you have to pay your debt, you have to pay your expenses, and if they don't pay you, you can't pay those bills. 24-hour maintenance rule. I have a rule on all my properties. Everybody has to get attended to. If they receive a ticket for maintenance, for service, for anything wrong, that better be taken care of within 24 hours. Because if I lived at a place, I know that if the AC was broken, or if there was a plumbing leak, or if there was a door that was, falling off my cabinets, or, anything that's happening in my unit, if they don't fix it, why do I want to pay you rent? So that's a big, big one for you to retain your tenants for a long period of time. And, retention is huge in multifamily. Keeping the property updated in and out. This means when you drive up to a property and you get there and the property has the landscaping overgrown, the walls are dirty, the sidewalks are filthy, there's garbage all over the place, you're going to drive right out. I mean, at least I would. I wouldn't be in a property that it looks terrible. So making sure that you have your exterior of your buildings looking pristine at all time is remember, the first look. That's when a prospect comes looking for apartment buildings where they're going to live, that is a huge impression. The first one, they're going to judge you based on your exterior of your buildings. Also, the interiors, you want to make sure they're clean. If you don't update them, right, that's okay. But as long as they're very clean, fresh coat of paint, that your floors are always clean, your appliances, when you're showing that unit that it's meticulous, even if it's not updated, that tenant is going to oversee that. They're going to say, wow, this is a clean apartment. I feel good coming in here and living here. When you raise your rents, making sure that you don't raise rents just because you want to raise rents. You got to make sure that the market is allowing you to raise those rents because that area, everybody's raising it and you're able to do it. Or not raising rents because the rent roll, the job, like COVID right now, we haven't raised rents in 2 or 3 months. So every renewal or any new leases have stayed in the same market rent that we had since March, because we know what's happening. We don't want to overkill and not be able to rent out our units. So you have to make sure that you understand when to raise and when not to raise. Managing your vendors, we already went over that a little bit, is making sure that your vendors are showing up and doing the proper job and your expectation of what you're expecting from them. And know when to outsource those jobs. How to scale your multifamily portfolio. Keep in mind that this is something that, in order to create wealth, you need to do it. You have to scale, because buying one property is not going to make you rich or is not going to make you wealthy. So you have to start small. By no means that's a given, but as soon as you're able to start scaling, do so, because that's the only way to do it. We call it stack and rack. Save all your money that you're receiving on those investments that you're doing. Start saving it. Start keeping it to a savings account so that you could start buying more multifamily and start racking up with your investments.